Welcome back to ToBeSeen.com. We are super excited. We have a very special guest. You know him as my amigo Donde Esta, Captain Quadrant podcast. That was the worst Spanish that I've ever done since high school. Ladies and gentlemen, my co-host from the Captain's Quadrant, Jason Roy Gaston from the Jason Roy Gaston Show, and from all your wonderful TikToks, is a part of the Console Room podcast this week. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you, Jason?
Tu hablas español es muy mal.
Yeah, I know. I look very Spanish, so people are always like, "Ay, caramba."
Okay, I don't have the subtitles on. What are you guys saying?
Yeah, right.
It was nothing
And of
about
course-
your mom, I swear.
No.
Oh, that's okay. I say that all the time. Jason, thank you so much for joining us in the console room this week.
It is my pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course,
You are.
Jason is a very accomplished podcaster, and with these thousands of followers on TikTok, maybe give a little credibility
No.
and keep us from
Hundreds
stinking
of
up the joint.
Yes, hundreds of thousands. He's got 10,000 followers on YouTube, 200,000 followers on Instagram. The guy keeps growing,
200.
and he's tall. So,
Who's counting?
huh?
I'm very tall, yes.
How many thousands?
250,000, but who's counting?
Ooh, yeah,
Damn.
yeah. So,
Damn.
yeah, he's
I
very
have no
established in the
idea
world.
why. I'm really not that.
It's because you're funny, you're smart, and doggone
It's
it,
the
people like
cats.
it.
It's the cats.
It is, yes.
The cats help. The cats do help. But we are here to talk about. Oh, it's so cute. Ah, he's already sneezing. Oh, he's so cute. Is that Murder Bean?
No, this is Demona.
Demona.
Demona's got the tail.
Oh, he's
Murder
got
Bean
tail.
has no tail.
Tailless beans. We are here to talk about, as you saw by the thumbnail, the great Doctor Who. We are talking about the very first episode of Jodie Whittaker's iteration of the Doctor, the woman who fell to Earth. My mom
Roll that
playing.
beautiful doctor footage.
Here we go. Do.
Doctor Who?
Fellas, you're never gonna stop asking.
Yes. We got a new Doctor, new TARDIS, new threads, new companions, so much wondering things happening in The Woman Who Fell to Earth. So,
Much going on. So much going on. If you remember the closing scenes of Twice Upon a Time, where Peter Capaldi regenerates, giving, in my opinion, one of the best closing speeches of any modern Doctor.
yeah.
Okay, whatever the doctor tells you, never eat pears. It is stricken from my diet. But so as 12 regenerates into 13, the TARDIS isn't. It seems like the TARDIS isn't exactly happy about this. Now, could it be just the expulsion of regeneration energy? What could have possibly happened to the TARDIS to literally have it throw the Doctor from the console room and falling into the night? That is how Twice Upon a Time ended.
Yes, Jace, what were you going to say?
It's pretty obvious the TARDIS is tired of having the Doctor regenerate inside of it. I mean, you got a dude who explodes and like blows out all the consoles and the windows and everything. Yeah, I'm gonna get fed up and kick him out too.
All right.
Well,
Go
Jason,
out-
if you
go out-
noticed,
It's like trying to fart. Go outside. Don't do it
Yeah.
here. Go outside. Do your regenerative part, and then you can come back in. And I can be like, okay, fine. Yeah, you're crazy. You're the Doctor.
but if you've noticed though, we've touched on this a couple of times. When the Doctor is when the Doctor has one of their companions right next to them. Okay, he did it. 9 did it with Rose standing right there. 11 did it with Clara standing right there. When someone is in proximity, it's almost as if that huge expulsion of energy is a lot more subdued. They just
they're
and back.
squeaking it out, so it's not quite as loud. There's
Right. It's a silent but deadly as opposed to a full-on trombone.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, Matt
Exactly.
Smith, he let it go whenever he was fighting the Daleks, but whenever Clara was there, it was like,
Yes.
A little walking fart. Just
She lets out little gases herself because we never see her regenerate into some big explosion. It's just tiny little.
well,
Oh,
when
and she was by herself.
she regenerated, she went outside.
Yeah, she went
Yeah.
outside. She was
She's
like,
the
"What?"
only doctor smart enough to go do her regeneration fart outdoors. And that's why the TARDIS likes
Well, also she also regenerated her clothes as well, so maybe that was part of it.
Well, you
She
know,
regenerated so much that
very thoughtful.
she was wearing a different coat.
Very thoughtful, very thoughtful. So here she is running around in London. Well, not London. Where were they? In Westchester or something like that?
Sheffield.
Sheffield. Yeah, way off.
Mhm.
I don't know London at all. And that's actually the UK, not just London. It's like
Yeah, no,
America would be like, hey, you know the United States, you know New York City?
Got their tea out like, oh my.
Yeah, oh my.
Yeah, he not know the how dare you
How
not
dare you?
know
How dare
the
you?
geography of the UK?
Is this what we gave you independence for?
Yeah,
So that you
exactly.
did not have to know our geography of
Mm,
our island.
yes.
White. Okay, that was the worst.
Yeah.
that was the worst
I
Churchill
would
ever.
like to very much know which part of New York City San Francisco is in. That's what you sound like.
But the cool thing about Jodie's first run, she's very sweet, very lovable, and she's running around as a hobo. Like she's just in the most toe up
Mhm.
outfit for like the whole first episode until the very end when she gets her spiffy threads.
In her
I
defense,
have
she
a
did
note
fall from
on
orbit.
that particular facet, which we'll get to later. But a little bit about the great Jodie Whittaker, born 17 June 1982.
I thought you were going to say 1700. It's like, holy shit, she's a cowboy for real.
No, that would be Keanu Reeves. He's the one.
Yeah.
Him and Patrick Stewart are the Ages of Vampires. She debuted in a play called The Storm at Shakespeare's Globe in 2005. This is where she made her acting debut. She's best known.
You were
as
there?
her- Yes, I was.
Wow.
She's best known for her role of Beth Latimer in the show Broadchurch, which she was in 24 episodes, and it was there that not only did she work with David Tennant, but she met the showrunner for her tenure as a doctor, Chris Chibnall. I'll be nice and not put any adjectives before his name.
Oh, Jason's already hissing, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just telling Jace before we started recording. This was a little difficult to rewatch.
Really? I was telling him before we were recording because we were here earlier. I didn't mind it the second time around. I was like, oh, you know what? This is pretty good. You got some pull at the hairstrings of your emotions with the grandmom and the relationship between grandmom and Graham. So Nan and Graham. And I felt there was like a little bit of spark of connection only in this episode between Yaz and the son. But I guess since we're talking about the companions, we will roll that wonderful footage.
See, I met this person and I got whooshed away across all space and time. I mean, I had the most amazing adventures, really. I mean, you wait till you hear, because I'm going to tell you them all.
Yes.
And there's Graham himself.
Mm-hmm. So we got a whole squad. You know, we didn't get one. We got three companions.
Yeah, and those are just the three main companions. Let's go through this. Yasmin Khan, played by Mandeep Gill. Ryan Sinclair by Tassin Cole, and of course Graham O'Brien by the incomparable Bradley Walsh. These are the three companions that will stay with this iteration of the Doctor for quite some time. We also are introduced to the lady. We were throwing for a curveball at the beginning. Here's Ryan recording this YouTube message about this lady. And we're all thinking, well, we know the doctor's now a female, so he must be talking about this doctor. No, he was talking about his Gram. The lovely Grace O'Brien, played by Sharon D. Clark, a loving grandmother who's
Who's only
also
only in
just
one
a
episode.
good woman. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, a nurse.
hmm
Yeah. So
Intricate to the plot line, as it turns out.
yeah. So what were your first impressions of these companions, Jace?
I really gravitated towards Graham.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very pleasing, very relatable everyman. I have to admit, it took me a little while to warm up to Yaz, and I mean like a couple of seasons to warm up to her. I think that she really came into her own once there were fewer companions. And as for Ryan, I honestly think he's the worst companion the show's ever had. Really,
Wow.
just
Wow, dude.
Wow, that is 60 years
in
of
60
comparison.
years, and I'm talking everyone, I think he's the
Wow.
worst companion the Doctor's ever had because he was there to ask stupid questions, and that was it. That was his job. Ask a stupid question that it can be explained.
Mm.
That was all he ever did. And every single line was delivered like this. Every single line. I'm on the TARDIS with the Doctor, and this is my reaction. Every single line is like this.
Now, Jace, do you think that goes back to the writing as well? I mean, Jodie's tenure as the Doctor has been, it's not it's no BBC secret that the series that Jodie did was plagued with some, how do I say this politely?
But
Maybe subpar writing.
Mm.
Do you think your
Kind of
feelings for
the way the Black Death was kind of a subpar time in the era of Europe. Yeah, I fully agree. I think that I think the character of Ryan was pigeonholed as I heard somebody call them the plot lamprey,
Mm.
a character that exists purely to either initiate the plot or have the plot explained to him. And I don't think that Ryan was released from that role, or if
No.
he was, very rarely. And so, yeah, he was pigeonholed and he was given nothing to do. And when Tonson Cole said he was going to leave, I was like, I don't blame you. Get out,
Yeah.
get out.
No,
They don't.
I definitely
do
don't blame the actor for wanting to move on. Let me throw another layer onto this conversation. Rory Williams was similar in that he was there to move the plot along. Okay, he was there to help in exposition. But like you said, he was able to go past that. He became a major. He's the Centurion.
Yes.
You know, they actually did something with this, and he harkens back to it once in a while. My favorite one was as far as Rory's stupid questions in Asylum of the Daleks when all the relevant questions are posed. Rory just comes in, what color? Well, all the good questions were taken. He was able to take that again. Not necessarily the actor, but in the writing room, they were able to make a joke out of what Rory actually is, and has since moved on from. And let's face it, Ryan never did. He never rode that bike. I mean, to use the analogy that we saw in the show, he never rode the bike.
I think the difference between Tonson Cole and Arthur Darvill is that it was a combination of the writing and the actor, because Darvill had this ability to be offbeat and charming also. Tonson Cole was just never able to bring that to Ryan. He was always just present. I think that's the best thing about it. He was present for all of his episodes. He was not bad, but he was just there.
Yeah.
Mm.
But he didn't meet a horrible demise like a lot of other.
No, he
Aside from Chris Chibnall, no.
Well, hey, credit where it's due. He survived Chris Chibnall.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
He
I mean,
knew
the
when,
question. What would you say, Jace?
that he knew when to leave. That's
He knew when to
why.
leave. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he never put any of anyone at risk until the very end with Jodie. Like he never put any of the companions like, oh, we're gonna get killed. Like, all right, yeah, Gran died in this one, but after this, nobody else got even close to death.
Mhm.
Whereas,
Yeah, I see. Now, I'm not sure if you're saying that in a positive or a negative way.
it's meant to be ambiguous.
Oh, okay, well, you succeeded.
Yeah.
There should be, and going back to Moffat that we discussed last week. When you were watching the Stephen Moffat episode, there was always a chance that he's going to kill somebody
Right.
just to piss you off.
Yeah.
Okay?
There's
In the
stakes.
same way, it was like watching The Sopranos way back when. Okay,
Yeah.
at any time, any member of the cast could get whacked,
Yep.
and they all and Game of Thrones shortly after that.
Yep.
There's always a chance that someone you love is gonna get two to the back of the head, or killed by a White Walker, or what have you. There was
So
always
two to
that
the back of
chance.
the head. Can you tell Jason where Ernesto's from in Staten
yeah.
Island? You get two to the back of the head. It's like, whoa, New Yorker. There we go.
About, yeah, you've
At
heard the
least I
old
didn't
joke,
say it was tree to the back of the head.
George R. walk into a bar and everyone you love dies.
Wait, what? What? Say that again.
Stephen Moffat and George R. Martin walk into a bar and everyone you love dies.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's very funny.
Luckily, those two have never been together in the same room, because could you just imagine, the
whole
mass
extinction
destruction?
Extinction event. Exactly. One of the things that you guys had mentioned was Jodie in this episode didn't have the TARDIS at all. It was what is it? A non grata. It was not around at all. She just falls into Earth. So it left me this one question that I'll pose to Jason and then Ernesto. If she just falls to Earth, how come she didn't just regenerate again? Oh, oops! Like if she falls through the train into the midst of that other extra terrestrial. So, Jace,
David Tennant regrew his entire damn arm.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I'm just saying.
All right.
When
she
you're
was
in the middle of a
bursting with
regeneration,
regenerative part energy. She hit the ground. She went, and then she got back up.
basically, yeah.
Okay.
When you're in the middle of a regeneration, anything can happen. You're basically indestructible. To put it in D&D terms, you
mode.
just rolled a 20 for the next 4 turns.
Oh, okay.
So,
There it is.
you're at a stage where no matter what happens to you, you're in the middle of this regeneration. Your cells are dying and being reborn. To Chibnall's credit, and I won't do this very often, but he actually wrote a really good line in this episode where the doctor is actually discussing the regeneration, where every part of you is dying and then you're being born at the same time. It was a great analogy, a really good understanding of exactly what the regeneration process is. So kudos for that.
Okay.
As far as character development and everything else goes, and do you guys remember when Jodie was first announced and Chibnall was first announced? One of the things that he came out and said was that it was going to be a completely different time. He wasn't going to go back to. You weren't going to see. He promised that you wouldn't see the Daleks, you wouldn't see the Cybermen, you wouldn't see the Master. He wanted all new villains. He wanted all new enemies for the Doctor.
Wow. Well, that's good timing because I guess it's time to hop into the enemies.
I shall now kill you, Doctor.
Yes, the enemies. In fact,
Yeah.
Costanza, George Costanza from 5,000 Galaxies Away conquerors of the 9 systems and hunts humans and has teeth on his face. I
Yeah.
don't like to see teeth. I have a thing with people chewing, and this is probably the worst enemy for me. I was like, God.
I'm
And
sure that was probably part of the reason why. To me, they kind of look like um, a blue gem Hadar,
oh yeah,
but just with just more teeth on them as opposed to the
scales,
way the way
scales.
Michael Westmore did it in on DS9. There was these were these gray with spikes, spikes or horns all over their faces, and then this guy's just blue and teeth. And they made such a thing, yeah, they made such a thing about taking the teeth, but they didn't explain it. What is he? Does he actually put it into his skin? Does he eat it and it
Looks
just
like
pops? I
oh.
mean, just something. Of all, granted, I understand of all the questions that this episode posed, that's one of the least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you
I
think
want
of
to know
this?
how he chooses food. Does he chew it regularly, or does he put it on a table in front of him and just go?
Considering all the audio issues I'm having tonight, I wasn't going to try that, but thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird questions for the stanza. I
Yeah.
did like the actor playing the stanza. He had a very distinctive voice. I'm not sure if they put any like augmentation on the voice, but
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't get. All I had was the name of the actor, who I guess was under the makeup.
yeah,
They didn't mention that it was a different actor playing the voice, so I'm assuming it was the same one.
yeah.
And let's not forget the gathering coil, that
Uh,
wonderful ball of weeds or wires, whatever that
Wires.
was.
Yeah.
Leftover CG from a DC Universe movie.
You know what it reminded me of? The Matrix. Do you remember the Matrix when they had the
Yeah.
Those things, yeah.
Yeah, it reminded me of
That's
that.
giving it much too big a compliment.
But I will say, go ahead, Jace.
You ever seen a movie called The Darkest Hour? And it's not the World War II one. It's one with I can't remember what it was, but it was like an alien invasion movie, and you just like full balls with like tendrils coming out of it.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar, but yeah. That again,
It was a
maybe
bad.
that's where they got the CGI from.
Experience too, so it's
Yeah.
Yeah, it was too bad. I mean, like I said, I was rewatching this. I did enjoy Jodie's portrayal of the Doctor. I did like the companions. I didn't really care much for the stanza at all. The enemy was kind of like, because we've had some like the Weeping Angels was a really cool bad guy that they made up in recent time, and they did a lot with that enemy because the concept was so cool. This guy really didn't have too much going for him. He was like a hunter, and he took your teeth. But he appears in what looked like, those diffusers that you get at the store.
It was just the world's biggest Hershey's Kiss. Even down to the little, the little scoopy thing on the top.
Yeah,
that's all it was. It was a big blue Hershey's Kiss.
Yeah, it looked like a diffuser from the nature store.
Yeah. No. We've said it before, and Jace, I want to get your opinion on it. In the Doctor's first episodes, it's almost as if the villains or the villain of the week, it's almost like that they're irrelevant. At least that's my take on it. It's almost as if, like, okay, the Doctor has to fight someone while they're becoming this new person. So let's not waste the Daleks. Let's not waste the Cybermen. Let's just throw,
random alien
698.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, because Tim Shaw was the most generic paint by numbers bad guy. You could bingo card, like Doctor, unless we meet, I will destroy you. You could just X out every single bingo square on this. Completely
a race of hunters.
The finale, I was just like, who is this? Oh yeah, it's that guy.
Yeah, he shows
a race
up
of hunters is not is not unique to science fiction. Okay, but it has been done. It's been done to death, but it's also been done so much better. The Hirogen, Predator, Alien. We could argue. The Xenomorph.
Jennifer Coolidge, yeah.
She wouldn't have to hunt me very long.
Oh my.
That being said, now that we took this in a whole other direction,
You're welcome.
was that whole crane thing, was that necessary?
No.
Nope. That was a way to kill off one of the characters, so they didn't have to have 10 people in the TARDIS.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like they were bringing more and more of London in. Hey, you want to come in the TARDIS? We got about 4 people already. You might as well come up in, have some fun, go somewhere, Come on.
My, it's much bigger on the inside. I'm leaving. This is just silly.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
The Doctor's never had more than 3 companions for any length of time. There have been a couple of times throughout history that the Doctor has had 3 companions. History.
Yeah.
But they never last long. The last time, if I'm not mistaken, was with Peter Davison when he actually had 3 companions twice, and each time the third wheel Adric was killed in the second episode, and then towards the end, you had Tegan, Nyssa, and Turlo. First, Nyssa left, and then Tegan left, paving the way for Perry Nicola Bryant, who came in at the end of Peter Davison's reign and went on to be Colin Baker's companion for most of his run. So, 3 to a TARDIS. No, I'm sorry, I stand corrected. There was also 3 with Matt Smith, the Ponds and River Song. Although you really can't say River because she was more of a part-time.
Yeah, she wasn't there the whole time. Like Yaz, Graham, and Ryan were there every episode. Just
for
what
was it, like 2 seasons?
Yeah, 2 seasons worth of it.
Yeah. I do need to say this, full disclosure. I did not watch every episode of Jodie's tenure as a Doctor.
Really?
So I stand completely guilty of that. Guys, if you want to take me apart in the comments, that's fine. I'll be more than happy to try and get through it. And again, it has nothing to do with Jodie. Nothing at all to do with Jodie. I think her performance, when she's given something good to say, is wonderful. When she's told to preach about environmentalism.
Yes, comment below. Tara Ernesto a new one. Go for it. Go reap into them. What kind of Doctor Who aficionado are you? Boom, 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 boom. Make sure you comment below.
One that doesn't mind Isaac Asimov's ethnicity.
Oh, okay. There you go. There's that. I felt that Jodie, once she got her groove, so to speak, and really kicked it into gear, making her own Sonic, making it her own thing, which I really enjoyed. And
that
then
was cool.
That was very cool. Okay. She's going to make a Sonic. Usually the TARDIS makes it because I know Matt Smith was from the TARDIS. But her just pulling a bunch of scrap together and making a really cool Sonic, I thought was amazing. And then, of course, when the companions take her to the thrift shop and she gets some new threads, which I really thought that it was neat. It kind of looks like they have some, like she's going through all the clothes. I mean, I'm always looking in the background of things. And she's got that like long trench coat. I'm wondering if these were like rejected costumes that they had for her.
I'm not sure, but I do know that Jodie did have.
Oh, he's got look at this. He's got the Jodie Whittaker Sonic. Very cool. And it lights up. Yay!
Also, it's got speed.
Oh wow. Very cool.
Sonic. I like it.
Yeah, it's very nice. Very nice. I appreciated that. And there was one thing, like a small Easter egg in the very beginning. Did either one of you catch that in the beginning of the episode? We were
When
introduced to
she
Yaz.
mentions that she was a cranky old Scotsman.
No, with Yaz when she's writing the tickets. When they had the two. No, if you look at it again, you've got one of the ladies. One of the ladies was arguing, had a long multicolored scarf. And then the other lady had like a wild shirt with like a bunch of different spatial things on it.
I will definitely have to look into that. Definitely a cute little Easter egg.
Yeah.
I do know that Jodie did have some say in her costume.
Oh, neat.
And I don't remember exactly where this was taken, but I did see a video where she was asked about it, and she said that she had seen a French painting or a French photograph of this woman wearing basically the same type of pants that she ends up wearing as the Doctor. These I think they're culottes. I'm not sure, but the baggy and fold up with the Doc Martin boots, like what she's wearing. That was from a French either photograph or painting that Jodie really liked. So that went on to
her costume. Do you think
her costume?
Do you think that Doc Martin had a lot of ANREV with these guys? Because Peter Capaldi was wearing some Doc Martens, and then Jodie's were rocking Docs for 3 seasons. You got 6 years of Doc Martin.
Doc Martin is, it is an English company, and and let's face it, if you were a punk in the 70s through today, you wear Docs. It's that simple. So, and the things that come out of England, one of the premier exports England has is Dr. Martin boots.
There you go. Which are now made in Asia. So,
well,
yeah, they're probably some of their headquarters there. Are you fixing something?
No, I've got
He's got a cat.
You're smacking the cat.
That was something I got excited about because there was a rumor going around that the Doctor was going to have a cat on the TARDIS.
Oh, wow.
And I thought, oh, that'll be fun. And then I guess Brent Spiner called up and said, "Don't work with a cat." And they were like, oh.
I think it would have been Dorn who said that.
Yeah, right. What was there was an issue with the
that they have no honor.
Was there an issue with Data and the cat?
Brent Spiner hated the cat.
Really?
Brent Spiner hated Spot. He hated it. He said that Spot only did what he was supposed to do once, and that was a line in the script that said Spot eats tuna. The only time the cat ever did it.
Wow.
Never knew that. That is amazing. See, you getting Star Trek
of
stuff. Of
all the Star Trek conventions that we have been through between the three of us, I've never heard that story.
Well, he has.
YouTube it.
Oh, it's from YouTube.
Spiner did not
okay.
With Spot. He just did not.
So now I want to find out how Bakula was with Porthos.
Porthos?
If Bakula hated Porthos, I have no respect for Bakula.
Well,
I mean, I have 3 cats, and whenever somebody says they hate cats, I'm like, no, that's fair. I understand. I hate dogs. Just like, you are an evil person.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't like dogs, there's something inherently wrong with you.
Yeah. So they whisk away this toothy bad guy. He that guy that had no bravery whatsoever. Puts that little device on him and transports him back to wherever he was, forcing them to bring this villain back, unfortunately. But do you guys think that this villain will ever come back again in Doctor Who?
No, not a chance.
No? They may, if they're short on aliens in like a bar scene, maybe some extra will have, they'll pull somebody from Blue Man Group and put white dots on his face, maybe as a background, as a background actor. But I don't see that. No, no, I really don't.
Hopefully,
one of the interesting things about this episode, though.
We see again.
What's that?
Said we'll see the Absorbaloff first before we see Tim Shaw again. The fat guy who was like their faces all over him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
mhm.
one of the unique things about this episode was that it ended on a cliffhanger, which is something
Yes.
that we don't normally see in a first episode.
That's
We
true.
kind of touched on that earlier, but the TARDIS is gone. So the Doctor has to find where it went and work with this transmat that they're not used to, and it ends with them in the vastness of space. So okay, sure, you want to find out what happens, tune in next week.
Smart.
Because
Smart
it's not like
advertising.
it's the Doctor's first episode. They're not going to kill him.
No.
So
So, but the
yeah.
companions may croak. I mean, we already got one. But so when we did get that second episode, and we did get to see the new TARDIS, what did you guys think of the new TARDIS?
You.
Did you say ew?
You.
Wow. Ew.
I thought that
Okay.
Chibnall got a discount on wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man, and just decided to put them together.
You know what? Now that I see, I can't unsee that.
You're
now.
never gonna unsee that.
Yeah.
Never gonna unsee that.
Go to the TARDIS too.
It looks like somebody's hand doing this.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was like,
just grab
yeah,
everybody.
it was like Unicron, like grabbing.
Yeah,
that's what I got from it.
Yeah, no. Again, another opportunity to do something wonderful, and it just.
I didn't mind it.
So short.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. I thought it was very like ornate, and I thought it had like almost an Art Deco thing going on with a lot of the gold and the steel that they had going with that. And of course, the console had been upgraded, but I stand alone on that one. Everybody else is like, bleh.
If they didn't have those
definitely not my favorite.
It would have been fine. But
what's that?
Chris just destroy the aesthetics of the place because it makes it look like a bird cage.
Oh wow! I can't unsee that either.
From a production standpoint, where are the lights?
They're in the arm.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, how those pale yellow lights? You're not going to catch anything on film or on much less on 4K video.
Yeah,
using those lights. When you talk about set design, you got to go to the holy grail of set design with the Promenade for Deep Space Nine. I mean, it was just ingenious the way they did it, where they didn't have to worry about where we're going to hang the lights because they actually incorporated the lights into the set.
Yeah, it was a cool.
And there were no other lights to interfere with any particular camera angles.
Yeah.
So just genius. That, I mean, again, it's definitely a choice, not one that I would have okayed, but
yeah. Well, Jace, if you could be the showrunner, what type of TARDIS would you design?
One that is
question.
One that is what?
That is not ugly.
Okay, so then let's expound on that, Jace.
Go ahead.
My favorite TARDIS has been Matt Smith's first TARDIS. I just love the wacky junkyard nature of it, and it made sense because he's been in this thing for centuries. So of course he'd have things like laying around everywhere. After that, the second Matt Smith TARDIS after Peter Capaldi took it over, and it became that very almost like a library look. I really like those two. Those are probably this one right here is really good. I love this one.
That's the Jodie.
The new one is really good. I love the combination of the roundels with the stairways up and not stairways, with the walkways up and down, which started with Matt Smith. So it's a great combination of the old and the new. And come on, you have a Wurlitzer in the console room.
Yeah.
How could you not love that?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to share a little bit of good news that we got today. Speaking of libraries, we may be reunited with River Song. Yes, River. Alex Kingston has hinted this weekend at a Doctor Who convention that at MegaCon that River Song might be returning to Doctor Who. It was such a wonderful journey, said Alex, and the journey may still continue. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Quote from this weekend. How do
If
we
you
feel about,
follow,
how do we feel about who knows? Yes, you got it. How do you feel, Jace, about Alex Kingston coming back possibly as River Song?
Any excuse to get Alex Kingston back is fine with me. I don't care how contrived it is. I don't care how many times they have to keep bending the rules. Like, oh, there's another doctor. I didn't know. I didn't know. And then she looks at the camera. I'm fine with it. I love Alex Kingston. I love the character of River Song so much. I will take her any way I can get her.
Gotcha. Ernesto?
couldn't agree with you more. I have made my love for Alex Kingston quite known on this podcast and in life in general. She is an incredibly talented actress. The character of River Song is definitely in the top five, in my top five of any character ever on Doctor Who. Just such an amazing person and story arc, and just everything about River Song is just perfection in every way, shape, and form. That bring her back. Bring River should come back for at least one episode per Doctor, at the very least.
Every episode of Doctor Who should have some type of River Song because it would just make it fun. I would love Shooty and River to go and have a thing going on.
Actually, that now that you bring that up, it makes me think of the By Generation episode when 15 is talking to 14, and they talk about losing Sarah Jane, and they both say that they loved Sarah Jane. And don't get me wrong, Sarah Jane was the first time that there was even a hint of romance in the Doctor Who universe. But to just single out Sarah Jane, I think kind of did a disservice to Rose, and definitely River.
Well, I think because the actress had passed, and they
I
couldn't
think so
bring her
too. Yeah,
back
she
at all,
had probably,
unless they had a Ouija board. Doctor Who.
I believe that when she had just passed recently, when shooting that episode, or at least when Russell T Davies was writing it, possibly. But that was just, since we're talking about River Song and possibly the possibility of her coming back, it just dawned on me, and I think it needed to go out there into the universe.
All right. Jason, we're going to start with you as our final moments of this episode. What overall did you think of this regeneration into the first woman doctor, Jodie Whittaker, as Doctor Who?
Well, I will say it was trend-setting in that it was very middling, which pretty much sums up all of Christian Null's era for the most part, at least the episodes that were just phenomenally bad. Nothing really steps out. Jodie Whittaker is not given any big moments as the Doctor. Now, she is charming, she is cute, she is sweet. There are good moments, like whenever she makes her Sonic, or whenever she takes out her clothes. I really liked whenever she kept calling the bad guy Tim Shaw, and he was trying to correct her.
That was funny.
There was one part that happened that I was kind of happy with, but I wish they'd held it off for a few episodes. And that's whenever she turns to Yaz and says, "Why are you calling me ma'am? You're a woman." "Am I?" And then so last she said, "I thought, wouldn't that have been funnier if they'd saved that for like halfway through the season?" "You there, the woman." "Yeah, she's talking to you." "No, Doctor, she's talking to you." "Why?" "You're a woman." "What?" "Oh, I am. I don't. Kind of funny.
That would have been funny.
Does the doctor ever go to the room or look in the mirror? No, not really.
What's an alien? Maybe.
But yeah, I thought it was a middling episode. It wasn't bad. It wasn't that great. Had some moments, kind of, especially with the bad guy, just kind of eye rolling cliches. But it was fine. It wasn't great, but it was
fine. All right, Ernesto.
That's the best adjective I can think of. You know, like hair, it's fine. You know, I heard some teenagers using this word, so let me try to. It's kind of mid.
Mid. I thought you were going to say she had Riz. It's mid. Okay.
I haven't gotten to that part of Urban Dictionary yet, so give me.
Oh yeah, give me time. Give me time.
Let me just yeet that last comment out.
Oh, there it is. I'm leaving. That's a good shot of the TARDIS, though. I thought, like I said before, and I've said throughout this episode, I thought Jodie was charming. I thought the companions had a nice connection with each other. I thought they were kind of cute in their own individual way. You've got that connection between Ryan and the passing of his sweet grandmother, and then of course Graham trying to connect with Ryan. Jason can come back, and no, he's gonna fix it. Sonic screwdriver. I just thought those were really sentimental moments that were very necessary and very sweet. And then I thought there was going to be a romance between Yaz and Ryan that kind of never flourished. And I thought that was the seedlings were placed here, but it never developed and grew into anything. So I thought that
it never developed because Ryan was inanimate.
He was a Cyberman the whole time.
I think they were, well, at least the fans definitely took the Dr. Yaz relationship, and the fans kind of shipped them together as it is, especially towards the end when it was just the two of them together.
Yeah.
Whether that was in a long-term plan, I couldn't say. I'm actually kind of glad they're kind of doing away with the whole shipping of the Doctor right now. It's been done. It was great for all the reasons we discussed with River and Sarah and Rose. Okay, let's just let the Doctor be the Doctor.
Yeah.
And stop shipping them.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to end this episode with another little tidbit of news that I read today and share it with you both. If you didn't know, if you're a fan of the audiobooks, they just announced that Peter Capaldi, Big Finish Productions, have just recorded a 12th Doctor. The 12th Doctor returns in what's called a License to Thrill. So this is going to be a very cool one. And he's got a new companion for this one too. So should be a lot of fun. I really enjoyed Peter Capaldi's run, so I'm there for it.
Peter's my favorite Doctor. That fully.
Oh, there you go. Perfect. So we should bring you back if we split the 12th Doctor, right?
Absolutely, please do.
Yes, there we go. There, you heard it here first.
Well, I tell you what. Do you want to do that now? Saves me making the spin. Jason, in your honor, next week we will do the first episode of Peter Capaldi, and I don't have it with me. We will do Peter Capaldi's first episode in his reign as the 12th Doctor.
Yes, I'll get the title.
Sounds good.
All right. So
Awesome.
that is going to wrap it up for this episode of the Console Room Podcast. Please be sure to do those wonderful things, which is like, share, subscribe, and give us a rating on those wonderful algorithms that help us and help you get more of us. Please, 5 stars if you may. Of course, you can check out our good buddy and guest today, Jason Roy Gaston, at the Jason Roy Gaston channel. And we don't have the video this week because I'm in the other room and I forgot. Buddy, let people know where they can find you and the big news on your channel.
Sorry, were you talking to me?
Yeah, Jason Roy Gaston.
Okay, sorry, you cut off there for a while. I didn't know if you're talking to me or Ernesto. So anyway, yes, I'm on YouTube. We just hit 10,000 subscribers, and I'm very happy about that. I'm also on TikTok, Instagram, and a few other sundry social networks. You can find me there by just typing in my name, Jason Roy Gaston. That's it.
Yes.
Yay.
And if you enjoyed the time with Jason here and you want more Jason and a little sprinkle of me and sometimes Ernesto, please be sure to go over and visit us at the Captain's Quadrant. We are dashing into the Agony booth. Of course, Jason Roy Gaston. We're joined with VHS Jace, and we talked about Requiem for Methuselah, which is one of the most.
It is the most boring episode in all of Star Trek.
Yes, yes. So it was a lot of fun to be had there. Check that out. If you enjoy gaming and you love Star Trek, well, I've gone ahead and merged the two together, and I'm playing Captain's Quadrant Star Trek Prodigy Supernova. Yes, I will be playing every Friday, Fly Friday at 9 p.m. I'll be flying into Star Trek Prodigy, the game. And good news, folks, I have figured out the board, and now sound it will be included from the game. Yay! So
Yay!
join us
And there was
there.
much rejoicing.
And there was much.
Yay!
Yay.
It's like Ryan saying yay, yay,
Yay.
yay.
Yay. If you enjoyed the way this looks visually, be sure to visit our friend VHS Jace over at the Pop Culture Spread and at the Jason Roy Gaston channel as well. But he is there every Friday night at 6:30 p.m. talking about the latest and greatest news in pop culture, streaming, and more. So be sure to check them out. Great guys. He and Rick are just hopping into it. You can also check out a lot of Rick's trailer reactions because they're talking all the wonderful things that are coming up into your movie screens and or streaming services there. If you are a fan of Star Wars, be sure to check out our friends, the Scarif podcast. Oh, that's Scuttlebutt. Pure, unadulterated nerd talk with the Red 5 Network. You can check them out every week. And if you happen to be a fan of sci-fi, you can check out our friends, the Sci-Fi Queens, every 2 weeks on YouTube. And they are having a blast. Nita and Sarah, not Sarah Jane, are just having a ball over there. And of course, I would not be remiss without mentioning my buddy, Orsini's Uncensored Mind. Yes, he is a sponsor of the show, and we were talking about having him sponsor the Captain's Quadrant as well. If you are into pop culture and wrestling, maybe a little football, this is the podcast channel for you. AJ Orsini's Uncensored Mind, he and his actual brother, literally his real brother, come at you every week with some wrestling, some football, some foosball, and of course, duck sucking. Apparently, that's the big thing that's going on there. I don't know how they manage to keep it all together, but they sure do. Over at AJ Orsini's Uncensored Mind, so go check them out. AJ did us a big solid, and he actually proofread the tobeseen.com website and realized, hey, why is the new guy named Brandon Lou as well? So, thanks, AJ. We've corrected that error on my website. So now Ernesto is Ernesto. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, please be sure to subscribe, like, and share. And we will be back next week to talk about the 12th Doctor.
Hello, sweetie.